Hello, welcome to another episode of Play Cool Songs. Today we're just going to jump into a bluesy 12 bar from the King, B.B. King. Every Day I Have the Blues, live at the Regals, the first time I heard this recording, and I've been playing it ever since, really, in various blues ensembles. It's a cool tune, and it just helps us kind of look at major pentatonic and that kind of blues language, as well as just get our shuffle feel dialed in. So I tend to sing this in the key of F. That just suits my range better, but I think the original's in B flat. So we'll go with that because it's true to the recording. So we're playing out of this chord shape here and just using this really classic kind of blues rhythm guitar figure. So we kind of start with this suspended E flat triad over the B flat. So I'm kind of thinking E flat, D flat, and then hammering my minor to major third there. And then I just hit the top strings there as part of the figure. Okay, and then up to the F. So I think it's pretty open to whatever feels right for you along that 12 bar structure. But yeah, I just kind of take that pattern through the chord positions. So B flat, that chord is happening on the 6th fret, 11th fret for the E flat, 13th fret for the F, and I'm just taking that pattern with me along for the ride in those three places. In terms of soloing and stuff on this one, I really just try and channel my inner BB. We tend to lean on the minor kind of sounds a lot when we're playing blues. So this is a really good song I've always found with my students to just start that conversation about playing major blues. And B.B. King is just such a beautiful example of that. He's a real master of that, and his vocabulary, really just played nicely into the major as well as the minor. I would think about the fretboard for, the key of B flat. I'm really kind of thinking of the fretboard in G minor pentatonic, and, using that relative major to minor rule, I'm able to unlock my major sounds very quickly, once I've learned those minor pentatonic shapes. And so I spent so much time looking at the cage system, the 5 minor pentatonic shapes, 1 through 5, sort of connecting up and down the fretboard, and doing that in all 12 keys. That seems to be a really common starting point for guitar players. So I would then use that information to just unlock a major sound very quickly for my students as well. So I'm thinking about the G minor pentatonic shape there, and thinking then that they share all the same notes between B flat major and G minor. So I can just start using that and leaning more on my B flat note and my B flat kind of triad and arpeggio there. Just to give me that sound. The B.B. King box, I suppose, would sit up here. And so I'm using that C-shaped B flat chord, which is also shape 4 in my G minor pentatonic, which sits behind shape 5, which sits behind shape 1. Okay, so if I'm thinking about my major tonality, then B flat is going to be my home bass note, and that sits on the 11th fret of my B string. So, they almost sound cliche, and I'm certainly not doing it justice, but that's, kind of the playground for this particular sound. so I've just tried to go through, a couple of rounds of that progression. Hopefully you can hear how I'm highlighting the chords and bringing out notes of the chord shapes as that chord rolls around. I want you to be able to hear, even without any harmony or any other instrument behind me, where the chord 1, the chord 4, and the chord 5 is. I really think about those 3 chords almost like a mini key change, so that the tonality kind of sits within that chord, for the duration of it. And I was talking about this with the organ player in my organ trio, and it thinks about it in the same way. So really using mixolydian in 3 different keys. So the dominant 7 scale, the flat 7 scale, thinking about, my B flat, my E flat, and the F. So that's kind of the structure, I suppose, like the blueprint for where we're going with those key centers. And then just trying to highlight, here's my B flat, here's my E flat, and here's my F. Okay, so I've got, B flat, an E flat, and an F. So they're the notes that I'm trying to highlight when that chord rolls around. And then on top of that, I suppose it's just a lot of trial and error, trying to develop phrases for yourself that sound good to your ear, come across, I think, like a singing line. So they have sort of a, not just a vocal quality to it, but, kind of a melodic structure and through line to them. So it isn't just sounding like a bunch of licks. And of course, that's, where it starts. But we want it just to kind of feel organic and part of the music, which I think is just, such a big part of, B.B. King and all these blues masters. Part of their charm is just kind of hearing these beautiful melodies within, this simple kind of chord progression, the 1, 4, 5. So. I suppose another thing I would do a lot of is play kind of major over the B flat, and then maybe move to a B minor over the chord 4. That's kind of another go-to idea that I'll use. But I suppose I would encourage you with this video to just stick in one section and really just milk some small ideas, some small melodic phrases, 3 or 4 notes, and really just trying to find these lovely little ideas that you can then start stringing together to create, longer and, more cohesive, more fluent kind of musical phrases as well. So, you can think about the call and response and all of that, but, just listening to the masters, playing a lot over your backing tracks, and just sticking to one section of the fretboard and really just trying to find, as much value as you can there. And mapping out each chord as they appear. Okay, I hope that made sense. Hope you got something out of it. And feel free to leave a comment or a question if you have any. Thanks, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye.